where he has to observe a meeting. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's go well, yes. He's tired right now.
Hey,
because
Paul.
He's been working a lot outside.
I see a black screen.
Yeah, the laptop for the room here is not working, so I'm using my personal laptop, and the owl isn't playing nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Let's see.
He just did his
What happened to the laptop in the?
I don't know. I know it broke another time as well, so
Oh, okay.
it's just not in good shape.
I need to do a little IT upgrade. I thought we had that set up.
It's in the capital budget.
Yeah. That's what...
And yeah, if you just give me a minute, I'm gonna try to log in on my phone as well, because that might give us better sound.
Okay. Whatever. Let me know.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm Pam. Nice to meet you too. Yeah, I'm Pete. I know you. And Kayla. And Christina. Nice to meet you.
Hello. Okay. Hold on. There we go. Maybe?
You got a really bad echo now.
So I've been working with Savage and with Mike D'Amato, and also working on, let's say, new Zoom ideas, new Zoom copies.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know what's going on. I wasn't aware there was a problem.
You know what? Let's see.
Oh, now he's on.
Now he's on.
Was that a plug-in option?
It wasn't, the script wasn't turned on.
Yeah, it's not coming up as an option though. It's like lit up, didn't it?
Yeah, its eyes came on. Thank you.
Ooh,
What was that?
that was
The
the
owl.
owl.
Sounds like my cat.
Yeah, I thought so too. Okay, so folks that are on Zoom, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Christine.
Oh, it's a different merit badge. Oh,
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, we got some noise.
Oh, I can see Lynn.
Okay.
lady from the graduate Ashford came and spent the entire day with me.
Okay, it is 7:03, and we are going to attempt to have this meeting with the limited technology we have at the moment. So call the meeting to order. Our agenda. The first item is roll call and seating of alternates. So roll call, we can start with me, Christina Davis, I'm present. Pam Summers.
Here.
Keith Lipker.
Here.
Paul Varga.
Here.
Angie DeSanto is not present. Judy Austin is not present. Just want to make sure she's not in the waiting room. She's not, okay. So that's our regular members. And then our alternates, Tim Rhodes. Tim Rhodes, are you there? Can you hear me, Tim? Is he frozen?
He's on mute too.
I wonder if these guys are frozen. Paul, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Tim is having trouble. Tim, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Tim? Can you say that you're present?
Like he's frozen.
He's moving.
Yeah,
Can you take him off mute?
I did. Tim, can you hear me? Okay, well, we have a quorum. Tim is present but is having technical difficulties. We can note that. Holland Love is not present and Hugh McKenzie is not present. Moving on, communications. Jotted down some notes. I did get an email from the first select woman regarding AI summary on Zoom meetings. So I guess that's an issue because it conflicts with meeting minutes. Is that
It's an
the idea?
FOI issue.
FOI issue, okay. So I turned that off and I don't believe it came up today. We also received reports from the treasurer of the actual spending, expenditures and revenue for the fiscal year that ended June 30th. So these books aren't final, but at least it gives us an idea on the trends. So we received those. And that's it for communications. The next item on the agenda is approve the minutes of the June 26th meeting. Could someone make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Pam made the motion. We need a second.
Second.
Keith seconded. Okay. Is there any discussion or edits? And let's see. Keith, Pam, I don't know that we can vote on these
Oh,
because, right, it would, well, wait, Keith, Pam, and me.
what about Paul?
Paul wasn't at this meeting,
Oh.
but I think that we could still,
If Paul reviewed the video, then he can approve the minutes.
oh, okay.
So I don't know if he had an opportunity to do that.
Paul, did you have a chance to watch the video for the last meeting?
I did not.
Okay. I think though, but if we have 3 votes,
Yeah, even if
Still
I
passes.
abstain, it's still,
You
you
have
still would
to-
pass.
Let me think about how many members you have on your board.
6,
You have 6, you must have 4 people.
What
That's
about
4
Tim?
people to pass. Oh, was Tim at the meeting?
Yeah, if you got alternates that were at the meeting.
Wait,
you
Tim
need-
was not at the meeting.
You need 4 to pass it.
Okay, so we can't approve the minutes. We will table that and review at the next meeting. Next item is public comment. Would anybody like to make a public comment? You guys could if you wanted. You don't have to.
So, well, I can make a public comment. So I'm Valerie Pepin, for those of you who don't know me. This is my son Joe, and Joe is working on a merit badge for communications. And so as part of that merit badge, he has to observe a meeting where there's discussions happening and that sort of thing. I don't know if you want to add anything to that. That's it, sorry.
Very good. What, how old are you?
17.
You're 17? So is this like Eagle Scout or this is, oh, excellent, fantastic. Well, good for you. Okay, moving on. We have new business. Lynn, I put you at the top of the agenda, just to review for everybody the fact that we are in an assessment year. And if you could just kind of take us through the timeline and like how it's gonna trickle into the board in terms of the reval information. So.
Sure. Good evening. First, I'm going to read a little paragraph about what is a revaluation, how are values determined. Then I want to talk about mill rate history, and then I will give a summary of what's happened, what's going on, and what's will happen in the next several months. What is a revaluation? A revaluation is a process of performing a market analysis to determine accurate and equitable values for all taxable and tax-exempt properties within the town as of a specific date. Ashford, that's October 1st, 2024. The primary purpose of a revaluation is to eliminate any inequities that may have developed since the last revaluation. It was 2021 was the last revaluation. The purpose of a revaluation is not to raise taxes. It is to create an equitable distribution of the tax load. How are values determined? Buyers and sellers determine market value. The estimated value is based on an analysis of the market for the full year prior to the completion of the revaluation. The recent sales are analyzed in order to make comparisons and set valuation parameters or models, which are utilized to estimate the value of all properties in town. A property's assessment is based on its estimated fair market value at the time of revaluation. Some of the factors that affect value: location, size, quality of construction, condition, age of improvements, etc. I want to talk a little bit about the mill rate history. And Christina, I forgot to print it. I can get it from the website here, but do you have a copy of it?
Do you want me to share it on the screen, do you mean?
Would you mind?
Yeah, let me see. So it's on your webpage?
It is.
The assessor? Okay, give me 1 second.
Thank you.
Where is it on your page, Lynn?
To the left, I think it's I think it's to the bottom on the left panel. Hang on.
Oh, mill rates. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, and I will share my screen. Ooh. Okay, this is what you wanted people to see?
Yeah, and do you want to go down near the bottom so we can see the most recent years? Thank you. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's July and tax bills went out and I get a lot of questions. And of course, everybody knows pretty much there's a revaluation going on because the data mailers had been mailed out. A lot of people, when we talk about it, when they're asking other questions about their current tax bills, they, say, oh, the mill rate is always goes up. And I just wanted to point out, and I point this out to people when they say that to me. And the best example I can give is the 2007 revaluation in Ashford and the 2011 revaluation. If you remember, the market went way up in 2007, 2008. And you can see from 2006 to 2007, our mill rate was, prior to the reval, 33.70. And because the grand list went up, because the market went up, the mill rate went down to 24.65. And then we all know what happened after that. So we had to do a revaluation in 2011, and the grand list went down from the 2010 grand list. And you can see that the mill rate had to go up to accommodate for the decrease in the grand list. So it went from 25.60 to 31.05. And I like to use that as an example. And really what people mean is they just assume their taxes are going up. And yes, some properties, because of, it depends on what the market is. Some properties may see an increase. Some may see a larger increase than others, or decrease up or down, depending on how the market is. The values will go up. I'm not here to report, what the values are going to be yet. That hasn't been completed yet. But I want to point this out because this comes up a lot in conversation, and it's been mentioned a lot just in the last couple of weeks in the office when people are coming in to ask me questions. So now I
Yeah,
just want to go over.
If we could
Oh.
just pause for 1 second. So I just want to underscore, and this is the challenge for the Board of Finance, as much as it is, I think, for you, Lynn, as the assessor, that we need to communicate to the community as effectively as possible that a reval is the impact is highly variable. So every other regular year, right, everybody's taxes go up according to that mill rate increase. It may be slightly variable, right, if someone puts in a pool or puts in an addition, that's like a big change. But then when the reval happens, what your house's value is may go up 15% and your neighbors may go down 5%. And so therefore the impact is going to be very different. And yet what often happens is one person who has a very large increase to their property's value may do the math and go, oh my God, the taxes are going up like crazy. But that's not the case for everyone. And so we need to try as much as we can to communicate to folks. It's variable. It's going to depend on your particular property, your particular circumstances for your home. And we won't know that until we get the numbers, right?
Correct. And I will go over the timeline, like I said, what's happened and what it will be happening and when values will be available. And yes, I agree. Communication is very important in the revaluation process to make sure that people understand. And I will, put out more and more information as we get closer to the end of the year when the values will be out and the notices will be mailed. So up until this point, when the revaluation company started, the first thing they did is they went around the town and took photos of all the properties. They also did inspections of all the commercial and exempt properties. And then I believe it was in March, data mailers were sent out. And that's a pretty typical thing in revaluation process now, is that we send out questionnaires with some information about the property, not vacant land, just the ones with improved homes, residential, which includes single homes and the condos that we have in town. And people did have the option this year of making the change online or mailing it in. And to date, well, as of a couple weeks ago, they've had a 45% return rate. And of that, 406 were received with no changes. 286 had changes. Some of them wanted the reval company to contact them to talk further about it. And so some requested inspections, and then there were a couple of miscellaneous where they wanted a phone call. So what's happening right now is the revaluation company, they are doing analysis of things like the properties that have sold, and they're analyzing the income and expense forms that I received from the commercial properties in town. And so there's a lot going on. Pretty soon, inspections, not all properties will be inspected. It's a combination of data mailers and inspections from building permits, sales, and inspections that I request of the revaluation company. In mid-October, Equality will give me the preliminary values. And then in the next few weeks following that, I will analyze those values and talk about, if there's any issues that I see, any corrections that need to be made. And then I'm supposed to have my review completed by November 3rd. And based on the timeline, the notices are expected to be mailed at this point on mid-November. And then hearings are tentatively scheduled for November 19th through December 12th. And what happens then is when an assessment notice goes out for revaluation, it will show your previous assessment and your new assessment. By law, they have to give the assessment, which is 70% of the value. Of course, when data mailers are mailed, the property cards, the new updated value information will be available on the website the property cards are always there, but after the data mailers, the new values and the new information will be available. So the public will have the option to go, look at their information or other properties that they want to look at.
Lynn, can I
And
ask a
during,
question?
yes,
So the new values, that'll be available by mid-November, you said, and they'll be on the property cards online. Will
yes.
people be able to go look up my property and see, here's the new value and also see the old value so they can do that comparison?
Yes, well, I can, I can do a document that will help show how to find that on the property card.
Okay.
If you've ever looked at the database on the town website, there's some basic information. It's like a summary of the property card, but there is a button at the bottom that you can click and open up the full 2-page property card. And I can do a document that's available on that page on the website that explains where you look to see what your old value was and what your new value is. On the assessment notice, they don't put the 100% by law. The statute says you have to show the assessment. But on the property card, I will point out where you see the old and the new.
Right. I'm just thinking ahead to when we get to the budget and we're talking about a mill rate, people will want to go, okay, well, what was my tax bill on last year's assessment and what is it going to be on the new one, right? So they need the old and the new number to do that calculation?
Yes, well, it's the assessment. So the notice will have the old and the new because it's really the assessment times the mill rate that they will want to have that information.
I guess I'm just thinking about the people like me who like lose track of their mail and then they're going to go, wait, what did that say? And they're going to go online. So as long as it's the old and the new is available online.
Yes,
I'm getting
it is.
Okay.
And so during the informal hearings, they're encouraged, and it will say this on the data mailer, they are encouraged if they want to discuss it with the revaluation company, they can, there'll be information on how to set up an appointment to do that. And once the informal hearing period is complete, then they will send out new notices of the results of the hearing. And that will happen by the first week of January. And I will, the grand list will be completed by January 31st. So we'll have, we'll have some numbers. I would only have preliminary numbers for you because I don't know what the results may be of the hearings. So I can be giving numbers at different points in time, to the board once the assessment notices are mailed, and then once the hearings are done, and then of course once the grand list is complete, because of course I'm working on motor vehicle and personal property also during that time period.
Gotcha. Can I ask another question?
Sure.
So I believe our last reval, so we're in a slightly better situation than I think some towns in that, like I know, for example, Wellington, Coventry, they did not, their reval was last year. They didn't have one. That was their first one post-COVID. So they had to absorb all the COVID inflation last year, and it was a huge hit for people. I think I heard like 50-60% average assessment increase, which was a big sticker shock for a lot of people. We had a reval in 2021, so we absorbed, and that was a shock. I think it was like a 20% increase on average. That was a shock for people, but at least we've kind of absorb some of that, right? Am I right, Lynn, that we're kind of, we've absorbed some of the inflation post-COVID. We're going to probably have a little bit more, I'm guessing.
I mean,
I don't know.
Well, the way I'll answer that is we're only having the 4-year difference. Yes, I understand what you're saying. And I'm not I don't have numbers obviously at this point, but yes, we were only 4 years where the other towns typically are 5 years. We are one of 20 or 30 towns that got adjusted schedule. So we had to go a year early this time. So yes, we're just the difference in the last 4 years. And yes, values are going up. I see the sales as I'm processing them when I do the transfers, and I look at them too, in addition to the revaluation company. And, yeah, like I said, all I can say is, yes, there will be an increase, maybe higher than what it was the last time. And of course, I'll be looking at other towns. As assessors, we look at, I see what happened in 2024 reval in neighboring towns. And I'll be looking to see what neighboring towns, are doing a 2025 revaluation, and how, what kind of percentage they're seeing also. So the best I can say is in October, late October, I might be able to give you some preliminaries, just to give you an idea of how things are looking.
Now, I don't think this is necessarily going to happen, but if there was some sort of housing crash between now and October, would we see that reflected in the preliminary values, or are they kind of already baked into?
Well, we're actually, we need to look at all the sales up until October 1st.
Okay.
And I mean, I thought a crash was going to happen in the last couple of years, and
Right. That's
it
what
didn't
I thought
happen.
too.
Yes, so I guess anything's possible, but we'll just wait and see what happens. But yes, we would be considering that.
Are any other questions? I don't want to dominate. I have a lot of questions, but I don't want to dominate the conversation if others have questions. Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
I don't know if you can really answer this, but I look at minutes for other towns because I am cool like that. And I noticed that the town of Bolton had an issue with their assessment, I believe last year, where the values somehow got messed up. And I'm not really clear exactly on what happened, but I don't think it was good, and it didn't make people happy. So are you familiar with what happened in Bolton, and like how to avoid that, so we don't have that kind of issue where I guess some tables went out that were incorrect, and just.
I am aware that happened, and I do not know the details of what happened. But my goal in every revaluation is to do a lot of analysis. And I'm already doing analysis. I extract data from the files and look at it different ways. And I will be doing that once I get the new values, in October. I feel like the amount of time I put in, because yes, it's important not to have an issue, because that is not a good way to start out with your values being sent out.
If I could, what happened in Bolton was human error.
Okay. Yeah, and that happens.
What was that?
Right.
I couldn't hear that.
Catherine said it was human error in Bolton. That was the issue.
So, and I know how careful Lynn is with what she does. She's got her protocols that she follows. And if you look across the state, you don't see that kind of thing happening very often.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual.
So it's pretty unlikely we're going to have that.
Yes, and I do. I asked for the data, and I sought it in Excel in various ways to analyze it, to see if there's anything that just stands out. And I sometimes find little things like that, but I get them, talk with the reval company if there is something that I see that doesn't look right. And of course, they're doing it too on their end. But I know it's very important. It's just as important as the communication with the residents of town in the whole process.
All right, any other questions for Lynn? No? Okay. Well, Lynn, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And knowing these dates is very helpful to me. And I think the board, so that we can just sort of keep checking in. Feel free to send me updates. I'm happy to see them, because I think if we can kind of be aware of what's coming, we can plan accordingly and communicate to the community, just so no one's surprised come budget season what's going on. We want everybody to be prepared.
I agree and I will.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Lynn.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks. All right, let's see what's next on our agenda here. Next up is Catherine's update.
I provided the update, it's rather lengthy, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna do the reader digest. So all of you have copies of it, there's an electronic copy sent as well. Ashford School Roof Solar Project. We had a few meetings with Eversource and kind of got the rug pulled out from under us a bit. Eversource recently reported that their infrastructure on Westford Road cannot support the relatively modest 230 kilowatt AC solar photovoltaic system planned for the school's roof. And they have no plans to upgrade that infrastructure at this time. They apologized, okay, because we should have, they literally apologized, okay?
Well, that doesn't help.
But that doesn't make me any happier. The largest system they can support is 75 kilowatts AC. So what we've done is we stepped back and punted. We put together a new solar RFP and paid purchase agreement for a system 1/3 the size of the one originally planned. That will be put out to bid. We're just getting our final review by KERMA, our insurance agency. And let's see. Even a system of that size will result in considerable energy cost savings for the school. I don't have that number yet, but we'll be looking for it. So once it goes out to bid, then we'll find out what the PPA responders are going to tell us we're going to make. So very disappointing. And so I've now gone beyond that group up to one of the mucky mucks. And that person is to return my call. Actually, the liaison that I work with all the time called me to say, do you know this person? Because they contacted her. So that person's going to call me, and what I want is, I want to understand what their plan is for the town's infrastructure over the next 5 years. So, and actually, what I found out is that the fire station on that road, really, all they can really support is like a house. And that the lines are set up for houses. And they cannot, on their grid, they can't get any more going through it because it's planned for houses. So even what the school has today and what the fire station has today is basically like what a house would have.
And
Which is
there's no
shocking.
plans to upgrade.
No, and they kind of came in sideways when they were talking to me. We had a whole group of people, because we also had MHR, who is our owner's rep for this, and certainly Cindy Ford. I can't remember if Jim Rupert was there. And as they came in sideways, I was kind of doing this long thing ahead of time. I said, can I recap? Is what you're telling me is that you cannot support this system on a relatively small school when all is said and done. And also you have no plans to update the infrastructure. And they said, correct.
Is it because we're rural?
Yeah.
So
probably.
we don't matter as much as,
Well, that's why I went above that.
God.
So anyway, I anticipate, I got a call from my representative, who is terrific to work with. She's the one who got these meetings set up with Eversource. And we could have found this out down the road. We found it out incredibly enough early, because when you have a PPA agreement, the PPA, whoever is doing that paid purchase agreement, the owner, if you will, because they would own the system, they would be fine to get out, because they would be having the meetings with them. So we did that in advance. I had a way to get in there, and we did that. Okay, any questions?
Well, it just seems like with all the advances, and we hear like AI is going to have, a lot of demands on energy.
Mm-hmm.
What happened could we actually max out the school and the fire department that they couldn't operate because of all of this? I mean,
We're paying some pretty high rates. I would expect that they would be doing
I
some
would think
things.
so.
Yeah.
It's not just the legislature, our legislature, representatives
Yeah, I'll be talking with
should
them
be.
too.
Okay.
Okay, but bottom line, nobody can solve that problem quickly enough for us. This is looking at the future. Transfer station, okay, and we have the chair of the transfer station committee right here, sitting with us. I'll give my little update. The transfer station committee was formed. We have terrific members. We even have, in addition to a seasoned veteran, and Casey, we have someone from town who works at the Wellington transfer station, which is run like a machine. So having that infusion of some new ideas and that kind of thing, it's pretty good. So these guys are working on it. They've held 2 meetings so far. They're planning another one for next Wednesday. They're reviewing current procedures and operations along with town ordinances for the transfer station. And they're going to provide recommendations for the Board of Selectmen, to the Board of Selectmen for any changes. The yellow transfer station stickers on residents' vehicles have an expiration date of June 30th of this year, so they're already expired, if you will. They will remain valid until new stickers and updated pamphlets are issued as soon as the Public Works Facility repaving project is completed in September, October. So I didn't know if you want to add anything there?
Well, one of the things we're looking at are the ordinances that are in place for the transfer station and what changes we might recommend, and then that would require, of course, that would be as a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen, and any changes to the ordinances would require a public hearing.
And town meeting.
And yes, and so the other thing too is there's some ideas that we're,
I wouldn't go into
Picking
too
right.
many of them at this point.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, they're working on it, okay? We have some new town signage. I don't know if you noticed the new sign that's been installed on Tremco Lane. It looks like the other official signs for the town, and it tells what's located back there. It was paid for with the American Rescue Plan Act funds that were approved in December last year. Town managed cemeteries, we're replacing all of the signs. Also, there's been work on gravestones that's gone on, and this is part of the town's effort to maintain our historic cemeteries. So, and as part of all of that, they're also, the sexton has volunteered his time to, like above and beyond, to scrape and paint all the posts as well. We have a new recreation director. I am delighted
This
to
is
tell you.
fantastic news. Noah is a great guy. That's
Well,
fabulous.
and I have kudos to the 2 members of the Parks and Rec Commission who were the interviewers. I interviewed with them. Then the Board of Selectmen interviewed the top candidates, and in fact, I left those 2 selectmen to do those interviews without me, so that there wouldn't be any influence. And I have to say, everybody who interviewed the candidates chose Noah unanimously. Okay, and he jumped right into it. He's already getting set up in his office, and he's already got an ID, and he is one of our own.
Fantastic. That's great.
Let's see, and I think that's all I have that's of any interest here.
All right, thank you, Catherine. Next on the agenda is discussion and possible action regarding funding for the new bus. So I did send an email that I got from Catherine to the board members in advance of this meeting regarding a purchase of a school bus that is part of the capital budget that was approved. And the price tag has gone up thanks to tariffs, sounds like.
Oh, unbelievable.
Yeah. And so we need to make a decision on how to fund that additional cost. So Catherine, if you want to share anything, any
You
details?
asked for recommendations, and I thought that Sherry Susie was gonna get back to you, because this is definitely a board of finance decision. If I were making a recommendation, it would be to either take it from the undesignated fund, which is clean, I think the cleanest way to do it. And it's for, what is it for? It's for, 10,000, because I was able to lock them in and avoid the third tariff.
Is it 10,000 exactly?
Yeah, 10,000.
Okay.
Or the CNR. Personally, I would have just done it cleanly, taking it from the undesignated fund. I think you can bear it. And that way, when you're doing your next thing where you're explaining what's going on with the budget and everything, you have that the page, the letter that you put forth, and you can actually say right in there as part of any other what do I call it? Any other things that any other special payments or uses of money that the Board of Finance does during the course of the fiscal year. There's in that first page, top section, where there's a list of whatever was gone into consideration. That's where you would put, we designated $10,000 to purchase the school bus, additional due to tariffs.
So I did ask Sherry because one of the issues with the CNR fund, which is capital non-recurring, is what is the balance of that? And
Exactly.
so I asked her for an estimate and she said she couldn't provide it. So I think that's a challenge. I personally, and I'll, open it up to discussion, but I personally would be concerned about, I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but we don't know exactly what's in that CNR fund until we get the audit, which we're not going to get until the end of this year. So that makes me a little nervous.
It's all, just so you know, it's always a moving target because projects are going
Right.
on. And that's why she can't give an answer quickly
Yeah.
about it. She'd have to do quite a bit to go through everything to figure out what's in it.
Right.
So again, that's why the undesignated fund seemed like an easier way to go and one that's a clean move.
Any comments or questions about this?
Hey, Christina, it's Paul.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question, more for Catherine maybe than for the board. If there's a tariff being applied to the bus that's being passed on to the consumer, then that indicates to me that some of the material, probably the steel for the bus, is not American, because the only tariffs that are being applied are stuff coming in from overseas. So I'm a little confused.
I believe this was Canada.
So is it manufactured in Canada?
I can barely.
He
hear.
asked if it's manufactured in Canada.
I believe that it is.
Okay.
And I can confirm that with Chris, but
I would like to know, I don't even know if there's a bus company that's US, manufactured US or whatever. Just for reference, for my own, I guess, peace of mind, however you want to word it. But as far as the funding for it, I think taking it out of the undesignated fund is the way to go.
Take it out of the undesignated fund.
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
That's what,
Yeah, he's concurring.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm being a stickler for where it's made because I'm pro-Americans.
I don't know what's going to happen with any other purchases we're making because of just this instability. So I'm really concerned about this year and getting through and getting the things that we need.
All right.
And there was no way out of it. There was, it was good enough that we were able to save 5,000 that they want to tack on.
Oh, you know what? I had a question. So I guess this is historically, we fund the purchase of buses, the town funds it as opposed to the school.
I can tell you why.
Okay.
Okay, in the past, and I wouldn't say that the people who serve on our board of and now, or even our superintendent, would be doing it. In the past, the school was unreliable about purchasing a school bus each year or a van. And that comes from years ago, so the town took over the purchase of it, and it's a well-managed process. And we talk with them, we find out from the school if they need one, you know, what is it they need for the coming year. So I think we got a van last year and a bus this year.
Okay. Are there any other questions about this?
It just looks like that they're assembled in Quebec.
They're assembled in Quebec, Paul, the buses.
Thank you, Keith.
Does the school contribute any money towards buying, you know, new
No,
vehicles?
no, this is what we take over.
Okay,
We're taking
that's what
over.
you were
They're
saying.
contributing money for other things.
Okay,
Right. Other projects in the capital budget are funded by the school.
okay.
Yes.
So if there aren't any other questions, would someone be willing to make a motion? I believe the technical name is unassigned fund balance. So if anybody would like to make a motion that we allocate $10,000 from the unassigned fund balance to cover the cost of the school bus purchase. Okay, Keith made the motion
I'll second.
and Pam seconded. Are there any further conversation about this?
Can we vote on this? Do we have?
Yes.
You
enough
have,
so
you have
it's,
4 people seated?
right, we do. And, yeah, you're probably asking, does it have to go to town meeting?
Well, because Tim never answered.
Oh, no, he can
before.
hear us now, but
Oh,
he
okay,
hasn't been
good.
seated, but that's fine.
Oh, okay.
But it's 1, 2, 3, and then Paul makes 4, so
Oh,
we're good.
okay.
So it's not the total price, this is just the addition we've already.
Right, we're just allocating the extra money to cover the cost.
Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Paul, was that an aye?
Yes, that's an aye from Paul.
Okay. Any nays? I don't think so. That was everybody. And any abstentions?
Did you say that, I'm trying to see who's up.
Tim,
Is Tim seated?
he's not.
Okay.
No.
You might want to consider in the future, seating more people if you.
Well, the
could-
issue was he couldn't hear us and he
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh, he
talking.
can't hear you?
Yeah,
I thought he couldn't.
He
couldn't
couldn't
hear you.
officially, at first, so it just was easier to
Okay.
move on. Okay, so the motion passes. And I'll let Sherry know. Of course you can as well.
I'll see her tomorrow morning.
Right. Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, update on the 23-24 annual report. So Amanda Robinson, who's a local Ashford person, has agreed to edit the annual report again, which is great. So she will help compile and proofread. And it's, I think, we pay her $350 and it's in our budget. So very thankful to have her help again. As far as reports that we're still waiting on, we've narrowed it down significantly. The fire marshal I'm waiting on, I need to call him. I know last year I had to call him and get him on the phone and then that was fine. Catherine, I did email you, and if you have
Right.
any thoughts
Tell me
on,
which ones they are, because I have a response.
okay, so Parks and Recreation and Municipal Agent for the Elderly are challenges, because I'm assuming Sherry
Because of
York is
changes-
done,
She's
right?
done. Change of staff, so what we're going to do, I pulled the descriptions of what those roles are. And we're gonna provide that. Christine Abacoff is going to pull that, I already gave her the information. She's gonna pull it together and she's gonna provide those as annual reports for those that year. Because
For those two.
it's basically 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly, yeah, that's the problem. Okay,
But going forward, I think we'll be good.
right, okay, all right, thank you for that. And then the last one that I'm waiting on is the Commission on Aging, which I do have Carol McCarthy I've reached out to.
She is no longer
Oh,
the
okay.
commissioner.
Who is?
They don't have one yet.
Oh,
I don't believe they have one yet. I
okay,
have not heard. But I will do a follow-up
okay.
to find out who.
All right, yeah, so Parks and Rec, Municipal Agent for Elderly, and then Commission on Aging that I need help with. those are the three. And then in terms of the dedication for the annual report, I did put a call for nominations in the August Citizen, so you'll see that, and then we'll see what people suggest in terms of our dedication. Last year, we picked the Babcock Band, which was kind of nice, I think. We'll see where we end up this year.
And people just send that to you in an email?
Yes, I think that's what I said.
All right,
in
I'm
the-
gonna send her a invitation.
Okay, great. Oh, we had someone drop out and rejoin, so give her a second here. Oh, hey, Paul, oh.
Yep.
okay.
No, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know
I
what
think your
happened.
wife got kicked out, just.
Yeah, she texted
didn't
me.
do that on
She,
purpose?
it just dropped. I don't know. She said it just dropped, so.
Okay,
I told her she wasn't missing anything, but.
yeah. Okay, let's see, anything else? Agenda items for the next meeting. So our next meeting will probably be in late August. We probably will be able to cancel the first meeting in August. We'll have the second one. I think at that point, we may be hopefully doing the year-end transfers. I think that usually happens in August, September, that we have to get from Sherry, Susie. So I think that'll probably be, again, late August or September. And then I don't think there's anything else for the next meeting, unless anybody else can think of something. Any burning information for August? Okay. And remarks for the good of the board. I just appreciate everybody coming out in July when we all want to be at the beach. And sorry for the technical difficulties today. And have a nice summer, everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I'll make a move to adjourn.
Oh, gosh, that's right. We need a motion to adjourn.
Look.
This is important for your badge.
So,
To adjourn.
So Pam made the motion. Who's going to second?
I'll second Paul.
Oh.
Paul seconded. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Something I wanna tell you, we did last